Today we're going to talk about querying agents, and make sure you watch the video all the way to the end because I'm going to give you a list of literary agents seeking fresh voices right now. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this channel. If this is your first time at this channel, please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you in our Writing Secrets community. Today we're going to talk about querying agents, what you need to have set up and prepared to query an agent, and what agents are seeking fresh voices right now. First of all, to be ready to query an agent, there's a couple things that you need. Have your story written out completely. A full manuscript is essential. And not only written, but also edited. You also have your query letter. It's also written, polished, edited. You sent it to your beta readers. You've gotten their advice. You've tweaked it down to perfection. And now you're ready to send it out. A query letter, by the way, is a one-page letter you send to literary agents to convince them to read your full manuscript. So you have your story, you have your query, and you also have your synopsis. In a query, you don't tell the end. You really just focus on what happens in maybe the first 50 pages of your story. In the synopsis, you cover the whole story from beginning to end. It's good to have both a short synopsis and a longer synopsis to send out when you're querying literary agents. Different agents have different requirements. Let's not forget about sample chapters. That can be your first chapter, your first 3 chapters, or up to 50 pages. Have all these different kinds of sample chapters ready, again, polished, edited, best versions so that they're ready immediately when an agent requests one. Wow, finally you have your query letter tracking system. That is, for me, an Excel spreadsheet. You can write on a piece of paper. You can put it on your smartphone. Basically, it's just a way to track which agent you sent your query to, for what story, when you sent it, what kinds of materials that they wanted, and when you might expect an answer back. Different agents have different responding times, and they usually tell that in their online profile. By the way, if you want a free tracking system that I personally use, check out the links in the description of this video to get it for free, just for signing up for my newsletter. My newsletter is called the Writing Secrets Newsletter, and it's where you'll get the most exclusive content on how to write better and publish faster. I also send out freebies and all kinds of tools and resources just for my Writing Secrets newsletter community, so go ahead and sign up now. Okay, so you have your query letter, you have your story written, you have your synopsis, you have your sample chapter, and you even have your query letter system tracking sheet ready to go. Now let's find an agent that's perfect for your query letter. Here's a couple things to think about when you're seeking out an agent. Don't work with any agents that charge you money. You should never be charged for someone to review your manuscript. Also look for an agent that represents your genre. So if you write mysteries, look for an agent that's an expert in mysteries. If you write romance, look for an agent in romance. If you're a thriller novel or a fantasy novel or sci-fi, follow suit. Finally, you want an agent that's looking for the exact kind of story you've written. The best place I know to find that is online at a place called manuscriptwishlist.com. Check it out. The link is in the description. Now watch the whole video because I'm about to share with you a list of literary agents that are looking for and seeking fresh voices. By the way, Manuscript Wishlist also has a Twitter that's hashtag MSWL, Manuscript Wishlist. Go ahead and follow them. You're going to find that literary agents post to that manuscript wish list hashtag MSWL, exactly what they're looking for. Okay, let's look at that list of literary agents so that you might find one that you can submit your query to. By the way, I'm going to include a list of links to all these agents in the description below. So watch the rest of this video and then check out any of the links that you're interested in. First, let's look at Lesley Sabga of the Seymour Agency. Lesley loves vivid world building. She really is into character-driven plot, looking for everything from middle grade to young adult to adult fantasy, and she says she's always down to read a dark and twisty suspense or thriller novel, but make sure they feature strong protagonists who are female. So if anything in her description of what she wants matches your story, say you have a strong female protagonist and you've written a happy romance, she might be exactly a perfect agent for your query. Next, let's look at Whitney Ross of the Iron Goodman Agency. Now, Whitney represents middle grade fiction, young adults, and adult fiction across all genres. She does, though, have an emphasis on historical, sci-fi, fantasy, and contemporary fiction, and a little romance. Now, pay attention also that she's also open to nonfiction submissions if they're in the area of design, cooking, and fashion. Particularly check her out if you have a unique setting or time or location in your novel. Now, that can include a fantastical element, but it doesn't have to. Now, pay close attention to this next part. I'm going to read it verbatim from her profile because it's so important. Whitney says that she is rarely able to resist the trickster king motif. She is rarely able to resist the trickster king motif. And she has a weakness for read between the lines, subtle romances. So if your story matches any of those kinds of characteristics and traits she's looking for, say it's an unusual location, and it has a king motif, or it's one of those read between the line romances, has a little bit of fantastical elements in it, you really want to check her out. Let's look at the next literary agent that's seeking a new, fresh voice right now. One of the good things about all of these agents is that they are usually sub-agents or new agents themselves, so they're trying to build their list, which means they're more likely to be open to new, beginner, and aspiring writers and authors. Let's look at Lindsey Davis Auld of Writer's House. She says she is actively building her list. That is a game changer. That is huge. Check this out if you're a new or beginning writer. She's seeking picture books, middle grade, and young adult manuscripts. She says she's always passionate about children's literature. She even lists in her profile, which again, there's a link in the description, of the type of authors that she really enjoys. Why is that important? Well, when you're comparing your titles in a query letter, maybe I'll do another video about that another time, but sometimes in a query letter, you can compare your book with several other books related in the same genre. And if that book happens to be a book that the agent likes, or a book that that agent represents, even better for you in your query letter. So check that out if it's of interest to you. Okay, another agent I really want you to look at is Alex Field of The Bindery. This agent's unique because he focuses on nonfiction. Now, he's also open to some fiction, but not all authors write fiction, some nonfiction. Sometimes it can be really difficult to find query letter examples for nonfiction or even agents that focus on nonfiction. He's one of them, and he's looking for a fresh, new voice right now. He covers all kinds and represents all kinds of different nonfiction. Everything from religion to commercial fiction, fantasy, biography, and memoir. Heck, even pop culture and leadership, spiritual growth, Christian spirituality, and even some more. So if you happen to write nonfiction, check him out. It might be a perfect fit. Lastly, let's look at Sarah Bolling of the Gernert Agency. Now, I want you to particularly focus on this is if you're an author who is either a person of color or you write about protagonists and characters that involve a diverse set of characters, including persons of color. Sarah says specifically in her profile, again, links in the description, check them out after you watch the rest of this video. Sarah says particularly in her profile that she's looking to represent fiction that cast a diverse set of characters, lots of different locales, particularly ones that are exotic and maybe far-flung. She's even open to playing with some inventive narrative structure. And check it out, guys, she's also open to some kinds of nonfiction, memoir, pop culture, psychology, and sociology and style. If one of these agents seem like a good fit, click on the link in their description below and check them out. Also, check out these agents on manuscript wish lists. The more you know about a particular agent, their taste and preferences, and even their distaste and their dislike, the better you can target and personalize your query, and the better chances you have of getting a literary agent and getting that publishing deal of your dreams. And finally, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, consider subscribing. Just go ahead and Harry Potter Quidditch that subscribe button and share it with anyone else you think might enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching. Best luck with your querying, and I'll see you at the next video.